Welcome Skye Perryman to the show. Skye is the president and CEO of Democracy Forward, which has sued to stop Doge more than any other organization has. Skye, good to see you. Thank you for being with us.
Great to be here.
So, tell me about suing to stop Doge, because a lot of the things they tried to do did not succeed. They obviously did a lot of damage at the front end. But tell me how this has gone.
Well, it hasn't gone well for Doge, but we've also seen Doge exposed for what it was, which was really an effort by Donald Trump and so many in the administration to undermine basic services that the American people need and rely on. One of the most significant things we found out in our cases just recently is that Doge was actually engaged in an effort, it appears, to compromise the American people's personal data and to undermine our elections. In a case that we're currently litigating against the Social Security Administration, the government, the Trump administration, has now admitted in open court that Doge team members took Social Security data, exfiltrated that data to third-party servers, and that a Doge team member signed a voter data agreement with a third-party organization that, by the Trump administration's own admissions in federal court, an administration, a organization that is engaged in seeking to overturn state election results. Now, that's just one highlight of the many cases that we've been litigating, but I think it's a significant one for us to focus on.
Talk to me about this, because, Skye, I think that this government, this administration, bet on the fact that everybody thinks their taxes are too high and the government's too big and is wasteful, and they would just get away with this stuff and no one would care. And then people were protesting the cutting of PEPFAR, and they were protesting the cutting of U.S. aid, and farmers were saying this is really bad because if you cut U.S. aid, this is my crops that get sold, so now I'm stuck with this. I think they underestimated that people actually care about their government.
Well, they also underestimated the incompetence of Doge. I mean, we're glad that Silicon Valley brought us the internet. It's great. We're all benefiting from that. But having 20-year-old or 20-something-year-old people who are not trained in how to serve the American people, who clearly, as you see from these depositions, don't have a bone of public service in their bodies to come to run roughshod over the American people's rights, I think the American people really saw right through that, as have the federal courts.
Tell me what the lasting effect is. I was just talking to Congressman Subramaniam about this. I think that there is a direct line. I think people showed up and protested in the beginning, and people like you led lawsuits, and it developed into something else. It developed into this sort of backbone of this resistance movement to this administration.
Absolutely. I mean, it turns out that, the American people didn't want Elon Musk running around with a chainsaw. They didn't want, untrained people in Doge taking their personal data and doing who knows what with it. And the American people saw it for what it was. They did protest very early on. Cases across the federal court system struck down much of what Doge was doing. Now, look, there is still lasting legacy, and many of the Doge team members have been, we believe, embedded within federal agencies, and we're having to fight their harmful and unlawful activities every day. But this was one of the major overreaches and one of the major miscalculations by the president.
Skye, good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Great to see you.